Watch. Caitlin Clark steals the limelight as she dances with boyfriend Connor McCaffrey to Let Me Love You song. Joe Rogan is seldom left in awe of a personality. But it seems like Keanu Reeves has done it on more than one occasion. There are several claims that despite the violent characters he usually plays in his action-packed movies, he is one of the most soft-spoken and humble people out there in the world. Even though Rogan has never really met the Hollywood sensation in person, the way one of his guests expressed his thanks for Reeves seemed to have put Rogan under a spell. In episode 2215 of the Joe Rogan Experience, Graham Hancock, a best-selling author, sat down together with the JRE host for a 3-hour-long talk. During their conversation, Hancock decided to say a few things about Keanu Reeves. And the first thing that he did was say thanks to the John Wick actor for joining him on his talk show. Thereafter, he revealed how the two of them met. Back in 2021, Reeves got himself immersed in the realm of comic books with BRZRKR. Written by Reeves himself, this series revolved around an immortal warrior known as BRZRKR. He was born 80,000 years before the timeline set in the comics, with the powers of a god. The JRE guest narrated, "Back I think in at least 2 years ago, Keanu reached out to me for some advice, some historical advice on where in the world could such an individual have been born 80,000 years ago. We talked about that and we exchanged emails, and then we had some nice Zoom conversations together." Right after Joe Rogan weighed in with, "Oh, that's cool," Hancock continued his analysis of the Hollywood star. He said, "And I sense that this is a very open-minded, very curious, very interesting person." That was what motivated Hancock to invite Reeves to the second season of the Netflix documentary that he hosted, Ancient Apocalypse. Flint Dibble was one of the previous guests who graced the show alongside Hancock. However, the duo had a debate that the world still talks about. And Reeves knew it all too well. Yet, he stood up for the talk and provided Hancock with unforeseen support, for which the author was truly grateful. Hancock continued, "I found along the way what an incredible gentleman Keanu Reeves is, how kind-hearted he is, how humble he is, how he turned up for the shoot carrying his own baggage. He's just a gem of a human being, and he radiates kindness and decency and care and love towards others. And I feel privileged to have had the opportunity to get to know him." He went on, "And I hope our paths will continue to cross in the future." Rogan was left smitten by the story. He said, "That's awesome." And then the JRE host added, "Shout out to Keanu. He seems like an awesome guy." This made Hancock confess, he is an awesome guy. He's everything that people say about Keanu is right. He's a great man. Needless to say, this wasn't the first time that Rogan and his podcast guest talked highly of Reeves. There is yet another instance where the UFC color commentator was in awe of Reeves' uniqueness. Joe Rogan left in awe with Keanu Reeves' unique personality. During a conversation with Chad Stahelski, the director of John Wick, on episode number 1995 of the JRE, Rogan hopped in to praise Reeves. Admiring the actor, he said, "He is a very unique guy. I've never met him, but it's just every interview you see with him, every movie you see with him, he's a very unusual person." No wonder. These words ignited a hope of listening to Reeves on the JRE among the audience. But when it came to the movie itself, Rogan claimed that the John Wick series was a bit too cartoonish for him. But that didn't mean he didn't enjoy the movie. During another podcast episode, the star factor glimpsed through his eyes as he narrated the story of the action-packed series to his guest. And when he came to John Wick Chapter 4, he said, "Crazy. I enjoyed the fourth one, but it's very different than the first one. The first one you could kind of believe that all that could really happen. By the fourth one, they had a band and all that st. It's like they have bulletproof jackets and it's just like they're running into bullets and it's just cartoonish, but it's fun." Rogan's words made the entire world believe that he might just invite the Hollywood star to his podcast set. After all, he has really impressed the UFC commentator like no one did before. And the world was left in utter confusion with why hasn't he already invited Reeves to the show. What are your thoughts on the revelations that Hancock made about Reeves? Do you think these revelations will push Rogan to extend an invitation to the actor? Let us know what you think in the comments down below.